BeamNG.Drive, and I've had a loads of comments on asking how to change the temperature in the game, because I know I do these cold starts, and people get... it's not a cold start here, but it's an idea of starting the engine up. And people like to know how to get it to struggle to start on things and change the temperature on the maps. So to prove the concept does work, but it doesn't actually doesn't make it any harder to start the cars, but it does impact power and things like that if you can get the setup right. So over there I've got some rolling roads there, so I'll show you what horsepower this is pulling now. We'll see how much power it's making, and then I'll show you with the cold increase, you find out how much the power is lost. Work a bit better. So we're making about 540 brake horsepower at about nearly sort of 900 torques, and that's with that's 25 degrees temperature on the map. So if we now go over, if you press F11, you'll get up the map editor, which is your normal one. Now each map is different and varies from the temperature changing side of it. So when you do the numbers and stuff, they're very different. You have to sort of mess around with it till you figure it out. But once you get it here, you just want to go to level objects, and then underneath that says a level info. Click on that, and then on the right hand side you get temperature curve C, which is under environment, and then you've got these bunch of numbers. Now different maps have more numbers and some have less, but on this map, which is the west coast, you want to concentrate on these two, the first three, the second and third number, which is 2 and 5, which will be standard. This is your temperature on the map. I can't remember what the others do, but I know this is your temperature, right? So if you do say, if you want to make it minus, just put minus, leaving the space at the start and after. So minus, let's have, say, 100 degrees. And if you look at the back of the truck, I haven't pressed enter yet, so it hasn't saved it. You see there's no steam condensation coming out the back of the truck. So what I'm going to do is go minus 100, press enter. You see the steam coming out. We have dropped temperatures on the map. Now nothing actually changed here, but can you see the exhaust manifold temperatures dropping? And if we go to here, look, we've got a minus 100 degrees on the environmental temperature. So now if we do a pull, I don't think we're going to lose that much, but we'll see how much we've lost anyway. Right, so put it drive. Here we go. So we've still got about 540, so we haven't even remotely touched the car yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it a lot colder. Each map varies. If you go too cold, the engines, or certain engines, will better cope with it better than others. I did try with this. I think I got it about minus 200 and something. So we do 260, I think it is. Right, yes. So at 260, minus 260, but you can hear the engine hasn't changed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bringing the numbers up, and you'll start hearing the note on the engine change, where the engine has to work harder for it to idle. Just listen for a second. So the coldest you can go, personally, on this truck with this engine, this is a Cummins diesel 6 point something, I can't remember, it's minus 269 degrees, which is the coldest you can go for this truck. I think it's unlimited, I think, on BeamNG. You can go minus 1,000 if you want, but nothing's going to last that long. You've got here, look, minus 269 degrees. Now, you can hear the engine is working extremely hard just to idle, and our temperatures, if you look on the right hand side, look, exhaust manifold is actually dropping quite a lot. If I restart the car, look, minus 270. So we're starting from complete cold. And then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to do a run on the dyno and just show you how much power we've actually lost with this cold. Here we go. So we were lucky if we got 100 horsepower at the flywheel and about 270 torques. That's how much power we lost, and this is flat out. With a car, mind you, that had like 540 horsepower originally and about 1,000 torques, and the brakes are non-existent. That's full-on brakes. Because it's cold, the brakes are just defective completely. They don't work. And each map differs. So if you want the cold start, which I know a lot of you wanted to do, ideally you can use a keyboard, but it's better off if you use a controller. Once you've chosen a car of your choice, you want to go on manual and clutch transmission, so you can use the clutch in that. and then get a transmission gearbox. So we'll just go for a spot 5 speed because we're not going to go anywhere. Now this is going to struggle because you can hear it's cold. I can barely... It's like 90 brake horsepower, I think. Hang on. Yeah, 90 to 100 brake. That is... Oh no, a bit more than that. It's going up actually, where the engine's warming up, I think. But yeah, brakes full on. So if you want a cold start, you want to turn her off, and the brakes do not work. And then put the clutch in and just put it in the highest gear, so 5th gear at this point. Let the clutch go. So when you turn it over, it's in gear. So now turn it over with it in gear. And you'll find it just sits there trying to turn over. When you think you've got to a point where you think it's been turning over long enough, just dip the clutch like that. And then you can, and obviously you can let go. I mean, the brakes are no good, but if there were good brakes, the truck wouldn't move. But it's just use of the clutch, really. So you want it in a higher gear so the truck doesn't move. So here we go. So that's with the clutch completely unpressed, and that's just with the brakes on because you're a roll. Say this has been long enough now. Sounds like it's been trying to start. We'll just click the clutch a few times. Maybe hold it now. And you want to, if you want it to sound like it's cold rev, like cold on idle, high revving, like a petrol, just put it in neutral and just hold the throttle just slightly to your point. It sounds realistic. And if you want it to sound, if you want to sort of rev it and then sound like it stalls out, put it in a high gear and just let go of the clutch while it's in gear, and you find it just stalls straight away. And you can then turn it over again. Wait for it to turn over, hold the clutch, and it starts right up again. And you can hold the revs and then put it back in neutral if you want it to run. And that's really how you do a cold start, and this is how I've been doing all my cold start videos. It really is not hard at all. I really enjoyed doing it. Automatics are not so good on that, but let me go on to a different map and show you the number differences. So we go to Italy. We'll go to the top somewhere. We'll go to Crossroads. So once you're on this map, the numbering, when I was on it earlier, was very different for changing the temperature. I believe the temperature changed there as well for when the engines sort of get to a point where they can't start and it damages them because it's too cold. I think the temperatures on this map are different. So I'll show you this map anyway. So we're going to just start with the new one they made, new car, and we're going to do the same thing as before, which is F11. Once you get to F11, you're going to do the same thing again, which is level objects. Click on the little arrow next to it, and underneath just says the level info. You just want to click on that and it says, here we go, the temperature curve. And you can see here there's just a bunch of numbers, and where the numbers show 24, you want these, which is the sort of 4th and 5th from the last 3. You want to change them 2 numbers. You do not want to change anything else. So keep the spacing at the start of it. So put the numbers back in, keep the spacing here and keep the spacing here, and just take out the numbers. And so we'll do -200. You press enter, and you have changed the temperature. And the way you've known you've changed the weather is by looking at the condensation coming out the exhaust. See, beforehand it wasn't doing that. So if I do it now back to normal by 24 or whatever you want, then you'll find that there's no condensation. Let's do 700 then. There you go. That engine note just changed just a little bit. Don't know if you heard that. If I go closer to it, and if you just listen to this, you'll be able to find the difference. Here we go, ready? Oh, too much. There you go. So we're really on the limits now where it's becoming too cold, and the car is now working really hard to keep itself idling. So we're at -710 in the temperature curve. We might be able to get to 715. Yeah, we're pushing our luck now. Right, 719. Right, 719 is just blowing that engine up. So let's do 718. Actually, do 717 and just hope that that's enough. You just want to reset the car in the game. Right, it's running, but if I turn it off, it might kill it. Yeah, it's killed it. It's just far too cold. And as you can see, it's -270. Just restart. There you go. And it is now running at super cold temperatures. Look, that's flat out on the throttle. That is all she's got, and that's because you can see it's stuttering. It's just too cold. you'll find the brakes won't work properly. That's full brakes, mind you. That's flat out. That's with a turbo too. So if you are wanting to change the temperature in the game, that's literally how you do it. It's F11 and then go from there. Now you can also, you don't have to just make it cold. You can actually make the game too hot. If you do 9999, I think it sets fire. Yep. Yeah, so you go stupid temperatures, you'll find it just look. Oh, bloody hell, let me jump. There you go. Wait, so oil is 40,000 degrees right now, and the car is literally ablaze. We've got 40,000 degrees centigrade on the planet right now. So you can actually also make it too hot. It depends on what you want to do with it, really. So like I said, every map varies. So if you want to get to the temperature on this one, this is different on the grid map itself. F11 again. Then you want to go to level objects, go to sky, and then the level info. Right hand side you see general, visibility, and then go to environment, and underneath that temperature curve again. And then there's a bunch of more numbers. Now you want to find roughly the temperature on the maps. The map is about 22.5, 22.8. Now going through these, the closest we can see to that majority is to 23. So we're going to go to see where it says 23 degrees. We want to change that, but keeping the space before it and after it. You want to make it colder. Minus, let's do say 500. I think this is also times by like 3 times over, because I think this map's different to the other one as well. I think it's very similar to Italian map. Right, now we've got minus 300. You see the steam coming out of the exhaust. So we've definitely got it right there. If we go to our environment, we've got minus 152 degrees. Now we have lost power already. We're going to make it a lot colder again. Just show you it does work on every map. Sky, options, minus 900 then, because this is very different, this map. Okay, right, I stalled it right out, so we need to go minus 700. That was too much. Right, let's restart. See, the engine's running pretty happily. The temperature on the map is minus 219. We're going to go to colder. Level objects, sky, and level info. We clocked 2,900 torques. Oh no, we've got a torque actually. Oh, hang on. It's struggling to go above 60, 65. Was that just a speed limit? 68, okay, that's a speed limit. Hopefully I answered the questions to how to change the temperatures in BeamNG.Drive. So all the maps are different and they vary from each other. So if you want to see the other maps and understand how to change them, I can do a video without me talking. I'll just do the numbers and change all the numbers and bits and bobs for you. But I think I covered the most important maps. If there's anything else you'd like to see as well, just please let me know down in the comments. I've also was thinking about showing you the altitude differences on the game as well. So changing the altitude in the game can change the engine's performance as well. So it's not just temperature in this game, altitude as well. Well, feet for me, being the UK, I use feet. Will change the car's and engine's characteristics, i.e. brakes, tyres, aerodynamics and things like that. It doesn't change the damage physics, but it's amazing what you can do with this game. Well, if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll speak to you in the next video.